Hello. Do we have any blokes? Do we have any damsels in distress? Do we have anybody named Les? I've never had anybody named Les. Julianne Moore, perhaps? Nobody. 0-0. It can only go up from here. Maybe. Like 4 already. Wow. Hello. Are you a damsel in distress? Or are you a bloke? I think you're probably a damsel, Pam Donnelly. But maybe you're not in distress, but maybe you do experience stress. Here's someone new, another Teresa McNelly. Obviously, she's from South Africa. Hello. Hi, Teresa. Sandra Weber. Hi, Jack from Nashville. Oh, I bet you there's some good music to listen to in Nashville tonight. You can paint the town and have yourself some fine victuals. Oh, I'm wearing the shirt backwards because it's the best way to wear the shirt. My Bucky's shirt. It's the best way. I hate when they put the good stuff on the back so I can't enjoy it, but other people checking me out from behind can, you say. So I like my Bucky's. I have 2 Bucky's shirts, and this is the one that I bought first, and I like it a lot. Can't see all of the shirt, though. Maybe later. Hi, Vera Regaldo. How are you? Hello, Jack from Austin, Texas. Maybe headed your way in November, Vera. Maybe headed your way, visit my son and go to New Braunfels and Round Rock, stuff like that. A new Amanda. I love that. Always loved that name, Amanda. It's just a beautiful name. Good evening. No, good morning. So you are probably where? In Australia or the UK? I'm not sure. Sandra Weber is here. Too old, Jack. Too old for what? And to check me out, what? See, I have to guess the joke. And it can go either way. You know, when you're a disc jockey and the record is playing, yes, I said record, a 45 perhaps. Anybody know what that is? You're thinking, okay, next I'm going to play Feels Like the First Time from Foreigner, and I'm going to talk it up. So what would be a funny line that would not be over the edge? Now, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, the edge is different than if I was on at 2 in the afternoon. Or if I were on at 2 in the afternoon, to be succinct. Mary Aragon, hello, Jack and everyone. God bless you all. God bless you. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. Thank you for that lovely tip last time, Judy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amanda if there's a way to screw it up, Moseni. Amanda Moseni is visiting us, and Teresa McNelly is in Kentucky. Good, because we were down in our Kentucky viewership last time. I thought I had been banned in the state of Kentucky. What about Brad Gray? He never checks in from Kentucky. Where are you, Brad? Former car salesman. Just went to the doctor for stress, Pam says. Really? This is all you do, sweetheart. Hope you don't mind me calling you sweetheart. You need 2 things. I only have one on my desk, though. You need your ashwagandha. Don't go for the other thing, because it'll cause you nightmares. You'll think you woke up and Kamala is president or something. Sometimes nightmares come true. You need your ashwagandha. Take 2 pills. That'll make you feel mellow. Then you take a low dose Xanax. 0.25, whatever I'm trying to say. and maybe you need 2 pills, but you don't need a full gram. I am still not up to a full gram, and I've been taking it since the first divorce. That was 2002. So if there's long-term effects of Xanax, you should be seeing them right here before your eyes. Hi, Marty Greco. Hey, Jack, I watched the video. Yes, see, I'm now competing with myself. This is an up and coming video, and I'm blocking it now. And I think the technical term in YouTube for a creator to do such a thing is called El Stupido, or El Stupido, something like that, Sue Fenner. I take Xanax. Yes, it's not bad. How much do you take, though? That's the thing. They don't want to give you the whole gram capsules because, you can end up down at that local store saying, Julio, I got a deal for you now. I know you're going to get a lot more, but I got to get my money. I got to get a little something. That's what can happen. So they like to give you the smaller doses. They're not as valuable on the street. Patrick Phyllis. Hello, we missed you last time. Hello, Jack. Is this from your house or Walgreens? I don't look like Walgreens. No, if I look like Walgreens, depending on where I was, if my Walgreens was located, everything would be under wraps. Everything would be in plastic lock cases or something. Yeah, that's what we've come to. Brenda Noyce is here. Welcome, Brenda, one of our most popular members. And let's see, what did we say about RFK Jr.? RFK Jr. endorses Trump. Well, yeah. Next step is JFK will replace J.D. Vance. You mean JFK Jr. will replace J.D. Vance. One step closer. I would have said that Tulsi should be the one. I really would have. But she's still on the government watch list because they're screwing with her. That's the kind of America we live in right now. And while I'm saying that, who is the governor of Colorado? Who is the governor of Colorado? Because they need to be cited for, I got to be careful. I don't want to, I respect my platform. They need to be cited for dereliction of duty. We have got in Aurora, Colorado, for example, we have got gangs with machine guns showing up in the hall, 5 or 6 of them, trying to break down apartment doors. So where are the police? Now we're going to have to back the police up. They want to go home at night. We got to have the army come into Aurora, Colorado. Whoever the governor is, we need to get them the hell out. They needed to be cited for not doing their job. You said you would protect your state, just like that moron in Minnesota who's running for VP and a lot of other states we could mention. They are not doing their job. So therefore, they need to be removed. Don't get me started. I'll have to take my blood pressure medicine here. And that's not till later. That's the metoprolol. Very good. Very good. Oops. Oops, I did it again. I have other lyrics that I made up to that song. You're never gonna hear them. Oops, I did it again. If I sang the other part, I won't be on YouTube anymore. You see, my audience will flee. They won't like it a lot. Oh, I can't say anymore, Marty. I knew I shouldn't have had that. I shouldn't have had that vodka sour before I came on. Amanda, I'm not always this crazy. So don't worry. I calm down sometimes. Just after 12 in the United Kingdom. My mom was from Liverpool, and I've never been to the United Kingdom. I'd say it's on my bucket list, but we're going to have to go to like 500,000 viewers here. Do you think we can make it? I'm just trying to get to 10,000 subscribers at this point, So please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That would be swell. Yeah, that would be a nightmare if it's what I think you're talking about, Teresa. But then sometimes I join in the middle of a conversation you're having with somebody else. Sue Fenner takes the Xanax. Yeah, yeah, nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've been on it a long time, and there's nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me that couldn't be fixed by this lovely procedure. I think it's called a lobotomy. A lobotomy. Oh man, William Murphy, where you been? Do you have a tatty slip? Do you have a tatty slip? We've missed you, William Murphy. Where you been? Boy, it's going by pretty fast here. 43 watching that I know of. Scott Kramer, welcome. Bob Still King. Yeah, you made me think of that song. Is it an ELO song? Rock and Roll is King or whatever? What am I thinking of? Da, 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 da. Oh, boy, I can't even get the melody. This is what happens in my old age, Scott. Um, I will not kill you, Sue. I am not Jack Kevorkian. I'm Jack Willard. Don't be silly. You know. All right. If you want to pay me $1 million, I'll take you up to Cragsmore here, which is it overlooks Ellenville, and you know, you hand me the $1 million, and I'll just pretend to stumble into you, and there you go, rolling. You'll be rolling down like 2 miles to get to Ellenville. Sydney Ann, isn't that pretty? Sydney Ann. That's a L at the end there, is it, Sydney? I don't think I can pronounce that. Sound it out for me. And you're from Bradenton, Florida. Well, yeah. Have you had any tornado action, or were you lucky enough to I don't really believe in luck. Were you fortunate enough, blessed enough not to have to experience that? Paul McCreary, another one who has been I think he's been out of the country. Hello, Jack. I'm glad to see your channel doing so good. Well, it's doing okay. I'm blessed, and it's so nice, you know, when it works out that your job is in the house you live in, because I never had that before. You know, I never had that before. When we had our videotape service, this is with the first wife, who I was talking to today. We had to go out and film weddings. Yeah. All your pills. I have so many pills, Sue. Karen and I both have big Amazon boxes of pills. Karen will get a new something something from Amazon. Believe me, they know where we live. Those drivers all know. And she'll say, "Do you need a new pill box? Yours getting kind of ratty. How about this one?" And I put it under the coffee tables, such and such, but it's filled, and it's not all pills per se. There's stuff like my beet chews, you know. From I don't use the super beets. I use the other one. Q&all makes beets with CoQ10 in them. They're chews. I like the chews. And then I have my Alive vitamins, my gummies, and other things. But then there's the pills. There's the Vasipa. There's the metoprolol. There's the Farxiga. There's the there's the atorvastatin. There's the Zetia. Someone's going to say, you don't need any of it. If you just had a little discipline, Willard. I know what you're thinking. I know. The voices in my head are telling me. I can telepathically tune right in to JCat and know what they're thinking right now. AFib, that's the guy downstairs. So you're on, what is it? Eloquist. Are you on Eloquist, JCat? He is. And he just started the CPAP. I shouldn't be saying these things. That's private. You want to know how many times the CPAP has crashed onto the floor? And there's no carpet underneath. So I don't know how long this CPAP is going to be long for this world. And he's the kind of guy, he's just that kind of guy that won't have problems with the CPAP. He'll just accept it. Whereas I'll be having to take more Xanax. Oh, I can't stand it. I feel like I'm in intensive care. Oh, I'm restricted. I like to go on my side. I'm going to be the one knocking it on the floor, and I just don't like this feeling. And for the rest of my life, I got to wear this. And but I see the doctor tomorrow at 3:30, and there's no doubt he's going to send me to the sleep lab. Now, to accomplish somebody like me to accomplish the sleep lab, I have to come in totally three sheets to the wind in terms of no sleep, no sleep, because if I don't come in so tired I can barely keep my eyes open, I will not sleep a wink. I will not sleep a wink. So this is basically a torture chamber for me, Brenda Noyce, who always talks to other people, Tanya, and uh, uh, other people. Like Judy. She wants to know what Judy's cooking for dinner. I just had a sandwich. That's all I had before coming up here. Karen and I were in the gazebo, and I kept saying, I got to get up there. I got to get up there. That means I got to come up. I got an early call, as they call it in acting or anybody that has to be on set. Early call. Sue Ice Tea Apple Pie. What is that? Moonshine? Sounds like one of the moonshine flavors. Oh my goodness. Oh, I am in total shock here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I'm very happy to have you back, sir. Welcome. We have missed you in the last months. He is a famous painter, famous French painter. He hasn't been here so long I didn't even have a thanks button when he was here last, or a Cash App. Claude Monet, welcome back, Claude. Well, if you come back, maybe even the Grand Matriarch from Australia will come back. Probably not. I wonder how she is, though. I wonder. Now, there are people that would know. You could tell me. Let's see, who used to know her? I'm thinking Shell. Is Shell here yet? Shell is the campaign president, or you could say campaign chairman for President Trump, but in the country of Canada. It's not as effective, but she's doing the best she can because she uses the internet. The internet. Here's a little something from an old friend. Happy to see you doing well. Congratulations on the Gene Ho interview. Thank you very much. It was really all Gene, though. We used his tech crew and everything, just like when he interviewed me. That's on the George magazine. I assume it's still up. I haven't checked lately. Your channel is doing extremely well. Well, I've been blessed. I mean, we're not Wings of Pegasus with his 488, what is it? 4,088 subscribers or something, or 4,888. I don't know. But we're getting there, I mean, it's better than it's ever been. So thank you very much, Claude. I hope you'll stay around with us here, and always used to enjoy your emails. And when I hear my phone going off, I just want to make sure that someone isn't using Cash App, and I'm not thanking them, No, we're good. Okay. So many things can make this thing go off, emails and everything. It's like I got the same sound for everything except Facebook Messenger. So there you go. So thank you, Claude, for hitting the thanks button. If you're watching the replay, you can hit it too. If the thanks button hasn't appeared yet, and sometimes it doesn't, I don't know why, you can go to a recent video and find the thanks button there, and it all goes into the same pot. And I thank you. And we want to thank Judy, and there's other people I need to thank from the last show as well. So we'll hopefully get to that. Red Hawk is here. Hello, Jack. Hi, everyone. Wings didn't do anything. Great voice analysis of Bob Joyce. Wings didn't do anything. Great voice analysis of Bob Joyce. Well, the Wings of Pegasus gentleman has a very nice voice. He opens with one of his songs, and I have to say, I think he's a pretty good vocalist. He doesn't believe the voice matches up, though. He did it once, right? Him and somebody else, so he doesn't agree. So we got this video up from the Bob Joyce CD party. We saw the beginning of it. I was very impressed by. I guess he's the owner of the record company that has put out "Safely Home." You can find us playing one of the tracks on there, and they were very nice about it. They said we'll share the profits. They didn't say we want them all. And if you had, I would have said okay, because I wouldn't have taken the video down unless you insisted that I do so, because I'm all about promoting Pastor Bob Joyce. I really am, But the problem is he's got no room there. So, Claude, what we're going to have to do is you and I are going to have to go out there and lend a hand. I don't know how good we'll be. I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds, but there's a horse stable that needs a working on to turn it into a church on 9 acres of land. I'm sure you know that. It's not in Benton. It's about 10 minutes from Benton. And it's beautiful because this was not your average horse stable, out there in Carhunks, New York. No, this is probably, I would say, expensive race horses used to, they had like 5-star horse stable. So they're going to try to get 500 seats in there. That's ambitious, but they've already torn out some of the horse stables and what have you. And so that's cool. I got my email right here I can look at too. So I don't have to go to the phone. It'll tell me. Jeannie Thompson. Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome. Sue says, my daughter noticed also that Elvis never looked the same in pics. Well, there's certainly more than one person involved here. And at some point I had to realize there was more than two. We have a video called Barrel Full of Bob Joyces. Barrel Full of Bob Joyces. Watch that one. Or watch the one that says sometimes a Bob Joyce who looks different appears. And these are reliable sources telling me that they have spotted them. One in the foyer of the church, one in the fellowship hall back when they were in the strip mall at a luncheon, and well accepted and known by the people. Oh, I'll tell you. I'm sorry, but this is the entertainment story of all times. Even if we're wrong about everything, it still is. Jack, go out to Benton and have Pastor Bob baptize you. He only does that in the summer. I've already been baptized. I don't need to be baptized again. In fact, I've been baptized twice. The first time didn't count because I did it as an infant. I'm sorry, but that doesn't count. It's a personal choice to be baptized. You can't make a personal choice when you're 0 years old. So then I was baptized over at the Tri-State Family Christian Center in the 90s by my pastor, Pastor Steve Offringa. So I will go. I will follow your command and go to Benton, see what happens. But hopefully they'll let me in the door. Karen Phillips. Hi, Karen Phillips. Claude says, I have a feeling that Bob Joyce watches you. Jack, no doubt in my mind. Well, Gene Host said that there are people at the church that watch me, including, I don't know if they've been to the church, but his mother and father watch me. So hi, Dad and Mom and Dad. Ho, welcome if you're watching this. I never thought to say hello to you, but I'm very happy to hear that you are part of the audience. But Stacy says I can come to the church on September 31st, and that's what I'm going to do. Tanya Sears. I saw that video. Good. Well, thank you, Andy, for coming up. What we tried to do is up the levels on the Pastor Bob part at the end, because if he just would have walked to where the What is the man's name? It's not Lavorne, right? It's not him, is it? I've been talking to somebody, and I should have know this. So I should know this already, but I didn't. I didn't get that far. So Lavorne, were we looking at you? Come on here and let us know, or at least email me. I got to email you, see if you'll answer me. I gave you some tips. I meant well. Um, you got to definitely promo these things. I think an audio commercial would be a really good idea if there's some concerns about a video commercial. Audio would be good. People still listen to various radio stations, in certain markets. In New York City, have the snot-nosed programmers, have they killed all the music in New York? Pretty much, pretty much. Oh, let's play the same crappy songs from the 80s over and over, and then we'll pick in the 90s, and then we'll start playing the 2000s, and you know those stupid old people that love the oldies so much on CBS FM will stick on as long as we keep a couple of the jocks they know and what have you, and they won't even notice that we're playing 11 commercials in a row. They notice it all. You killed oldies radio. It cost me a really good friend saying that. you know It cost me the kind of friend that had Gene Simmons of Kiss. His phone number was in his phone. And I love this guy. And I have a tremendous respect for him, except we disagreed on a big point. And that was what to play on the radio. If you're going to tell me that, what's that grassroots song? Melinda Belinda, one of their minor hits at best. It should be in the rotation, but Happy Together by the Turtles is worn out. Nobody wants to hear it. Baloney. Baloney. I'm not saying heavy rotation. Make it special. Make it special. But my God, True Colors by Cyndi Lauper every single day. Aye, don't get me started. This is something I'm passionate about, because we were saying we were playing the greatest music of all times. Well, you don't say that and then go into Der Kommissar by After the Fire. It's not a bad song, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have any staying power. You want staying power from the 80s? There's plenty of songs. Stepping Out by Joe Jackson. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I can hear that every day for the rest of my life. It's one of those songs. Anything Huey Lewis did, I can hear just about every song he ever did once a day for the rest of my life. Excuse me. But then there are other songs from the 80s I don't ever want to hear again. They don't have that staying power. They don't. And then there are some you just play sporadically once in a while. Okay. Here come what around. I spinning around like a record baby round, like a record baby. Yeah, that's good, but I don't want to hear it every day. Joseph Kelly, another man. See, we come on early and we catch up with some people that we haven't seen in a while, like Claude Monet. Joseph Kelly, hi everyone, welcome. I know that you work and you've had some issues in your life, so there's reasons that we don't see some people for a while. How are you now, Joseph? Selena M., not to be confused with our other Selena, who doesn't want to be known by that name. She's talking to Sue Fenner, and she's talking about a conspiracy, a cover-up in some sort of school. All right, let's do a video on that school. You'll say, yes, do it. I know you will. Lisa slipped on Larry King. Well, it was the biggest slip was Priscilla on Oprah with Lisa sitting right there when she talked about Elvis in present tense. I talked to Elvis just the other day about that. You did? And then that look comes on her face. And I think at that point, Lisa became interested in the weave of the carpet on the floor. I'm not bailing you out, Mom. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sitting here lying. I'm not going to do it. So I'm just, saying whatever comes to the top of my head. I'm like Irish music right now. Are you here? just say whatever comes. 3 negative comments in a row in my video. Not it was negative about me, but it was negative sorta. And I thought, first of all, you could have put it all in one message. If you're going to be negative, 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 do it all in one message. And of course, follow the rules and guidelines of YouTube and Google, because otherwise, then you've stepped over the line. You'll be one toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. Sitting downtown in a railway station, one toke over the line. Oh boy. Just looking at some of the things you're writing, we have 62 watching right now and 32 likes. That means half of you don't like me at all. I've got to try harder, be less obnoxious. I've got to be less obnoxious. I know that there's some people that perceive me that way, that say I talk too much. And as I was talking to, what was his name again that brought up that point? Joe Worrell, right? Was joking about how much I talk while I'm doing a talk show. But I got to thinking about that, and the way to not sound like you're talking too much is slow it down, like Rush Limbaugh was so great at. Hannity's not good at it. Like Michael Savage has been known to do. Speak very succinctly and choose your words carefully and have great content, and you can hold an audience of millions like Rush and Michael Savage. Do you watch Michael Savage here on the YouTube? He's got about 65,000 subscribers now. Of course, he's a radio legend that used to be listened to by millions. He's 82 years old now, and he lives in San Francisco. He sometimes does cooking shows. It's the cooking shows that are noticeably different from when he's sitting behind a desk wearing a tie and one of his hats. He can wear a hat during the cooking show, but with every sip of white wine, a different Mike. It's just like when Bill Bixby starts to get angry in The Incredible Hulk. With every sip of this very expensive white wine, and I know Claude Monet would know what the best white wine is, a different Michael Savage starts to. He's not as he's still brilliant. That's the thing, but his language gets a little salty, and his anger gets a little more wrathful. And but even then he's, in fact, some would argue he's at his best when he's telling you how he really feels. Hi, Laura. How you doing? What are you wowing, Laura? What are you wowing? I'm always wonder when I just see the word wow. Hugo, also known. He is on a Elvis Brothers group. Are you in the Four Brothers camp, Sue? I did one video on that just for ha-has. I did one video on it, and I didn't do it for ha-has. I did it because I thought it might get views. I hate when I do that. I don't do it very often. I swear to you, I don't. But every once in a while. So I did a JFK Jr. faked his death video. I didn't say I agreed with it. I didn't say I disagreed with it. I just present. And when you think about it, that's exactly what Art Bell did. On almost every issue, you never really knew how he stood. Now, with all this thinking, I better go to my email and see what's up here. Nothing too different. Get ready for about 2.5 minutes of Mark Levin. Mark Levin will be here in just minutes, everybody, telling us exactly who Kamala Harris is. So get ready for the legend, the great one. How can he do that when, I don't know if he's doing a radio show, because I think Hannity didn't do his radio show today. I don't know. I don't think that they went down to Atlanta. Now, where is Dana Bash is in New York. I don't think they went there. So they probably have started their Labor Day weekend already, Yeah, I think that's what it is. You're going to see all the replacements coming on now, all the fill-in hosts as they take time off to be with family, La Familia. Glenn Beck is saying some interesting things. We might want to read a little bit on what Glenn is saying. Don't want to go to Mark Levin quite yet. Live stream, yes. Laura, once again, you hit me with one word that I have no idea, but you're talking to probably somebody else, so it makes perfect sense. Just not to me. I understand it doesn't have to. More than the greatest. What's that song? Da 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 da. Oh, I wish I could just recite those lyrics, because it's a great song that I'm referring to. What you said, that doesn't help me. Gene Ho, talking about Gene Ho's family. Hugo, the hurricane Hugo, also knows he's on, the Elvis Brothers group, whatever. There's an Elvis Brothers group. Okay. So 58 watching right now. And so, we have this new video, and Andy had to come up here and load up the album, the Safely Home album release festivities, I guess in Franklin, Tennessee, right, just outside of Nashville. And the owner of the company speaks. Well, first one of his executives speaks, and then he speaks. He's got a great booming voice. Maybe, is it British? We were just trying to decide if he was from Wales or from Britain. We couldn't quite get it. But he should have a podcast. If you're watching, sir, you should have a podcast. You should do, you got a broadcast voice. And if today, well, I saw it today, saw it actually before today, you're speaking at with Pastor Bob there at the CD party. If that was any example, you probably should do a podcast if you're not doing one already. We'd like to hear more from you. It's that kind of voice. Chi-Chi, 9:30 a.m. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Chi-Chi. What's for breakfast? Will you have some cream of wheat? Not quite that time of year. I love my cream of wheat, though. I do. I don't give me this instant stuff. If I'm going to go cream of wheat, I'm going to cook it for 2.5 minutes on the stove, and I'm going to cook it mostly in like 1 or 2% milk, little water, and then I'm going to just put a little dash of half and half on top at the end. When I put it in my bowl. And then, yes, I'll put some Splenda in there because I do want it sweet. But every once in a while, I find my hand in the sugar bowl. Anybody use cubes anymore? 1 lump or 2? I do like the regular sugar in my cream of wheat sometimes, Mike Fortner. It's a weakness of mine. Anyone watching the must-see TV of Kamala interview, LOL? I feel like I have a responsibility to do it, but I may find myself in need of running out the back door towards the woods. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me honey, J-Cat. We don't know each other well enough. Honey by Bobby Goldsboro, and honey, I miss you, and I'm feeling blue, and I'd love to be with you. If only I could. The very biggest hit, you don't have to think about it, from Bobby Goldsboro. Iconic song that never made it into oldies playlist at a certain point, except on those quirky stations. Program directors decided we're not playing Honey by Bobby Goldsboro. It'd be like playing his other one, Watching Scotty Grow. We're not playing that one. There are no Bobby Goldsboro songs, sorry, Bobby, if you're watching, that kind of made it to the next generation of oldies programming. And I was a Bobby Goldsboro fan, so don't think I'm saying anything negative. I'm just saying someone decided that trying to think of another Bobby Goldsboro song right now. Help me, Tanya, help me. Marty, you know one. Don't you like those sentimental love songs? I can understand why his music was yucky. It's just the way I sing it, Marty, that's all. Bertha Blackwell is here. That's a great name. Hi, I'm in the hospital. Oh, dear. I had surgery on my leg and knee. Are you experiencing pain, Bertha? They give you something to knock that pain away. So you're going to be somewhat incapacitated for a while there if it's both your leg and knee. So let's everybody pray for Bertha. Keep her in our prayers tonight. I don't think anyone's ever told me they were listening to me in the hospital or watching me in the hospital, but I'm glad to be there with you in the hospital room. That chaplain chap, where are you? Hi, that chaplain chap. I see that Brenda's saying hello to you. It's John from Belgium. Long time no see. How are you doing, everyone? That Chaplin chap. So you're a huge fan of the late Charlie Chaplin, are you? Will you be sending me some Belgium chocolate this Christmas? No, it's okay. You don't have to. I never developed a taste for sweets. Chi-Chi says it's 9:30 a.m. Good morning, 9:30. Well, I don't usually have my breakfast till after 9:30. So, if you want to rustle something up, a little something, it's okay with me. So I don't know, Mike. I guess I feel like I have to, but I also know when I just got to walk away. Even if I sit in the gazebo in the dark of night, it's a fenced in gazebo, and we have little purple lights around it on the outside. And if I just sit there for a while, I'll see the highlight clips. That's really enough. It's just enough to make me sick, because I know who Kamala Harris is. And, the great one, Mark Levin, knows exactly who Kamala Harris is. So let's let him tell us. Just a couple of minutes as you talk amongst yourself if you're not interested. Mark Levin, Kamala making a mockery of democracy.
Spectrum Internet offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods.
They're everywhere.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices with the most reliable internet speed.
Mark Levin, and this is Life, Liberty, and Levin Saturday. Thanks for being here. We have two great guests, Newt Gingrich and Joey Piscatelli. Who's Joey Piscatelli? Very important. Stick with me. But before we get to our guests, democracy, voting. You know who likes the word democracy the most? Dictators, fascists, Marxists, autocrats. And apparently the Democrats, who don't really like to practice democracy. They have voting in places like Russia and Iran, Venezuela and Turkey, North Korea, Syria, Cuba, Uzbekistan, Zimbabwe, Somalia, and 100 other dictatorships, brutal regimes, genocidal regimes. They claim to be democracies that have the vote. The vote. When you go in and you vote, you mail in your vote. That's not enough. Anybody can vote in any place on the face of the earth. Dictators use voting as a cover for dictatorships. But voting is crucial, isn't it? In this country, we vote for a representative government. We vote for a constitutional republic. When we vote, we want to be informed. We want to have knowledge. Who are we voting for? Who are we voting against? The president's extremely powerful. We've had wars to protect our constitutional republic, our representative republic, our right to vote. We had a civil war to end slavery, in order to allow people to vote, we adopted the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. We've had civil rights battles for 100 years, more than one, in the streets, in the courts, in the halls of Congress. We have fought for the right to vote, for everybody to have the right to vote. But to vote for what? What separates us and the way we vote and our voters from voters in Russia and Venezuela and Turkey? Information, knowledge. You're not supposed to just go to the polls. Oh, Democrat, Republican. Oh, woman, man. Oh, white. Oh, black. It's not identity politics, it's substance. You're voting for the most powerful representative in the nation. In fact, you're voting for the most powerful representative on the face of the earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris and her party are running the dictator's election. This is a facade. What kind of nonsense is this? They pulled it with Biden, now they intend to pull it with Kamala Harris? No, I don't think so. She's making a mockery of democracy. She's making a mockery of voting. Kamala Harris, your selection as the Democrat Party nominee occurred well before last week. And that so-called convention that looked to me more like a Roman circus. You're running a campaign akin to a dictatorship, a monarchy. There's nothing democratic about it. You're the first presidential nominee who's never received a single vote from any real citizen to run for president. You blew out the nominee who did receive the votes, 15 million of them. We've never seen anything like this. And you talk about democracy.
Anytime I might think that I have some skills to do conservative talk, I just have to listen to Mark Levin, and I am humbled. The man is incredible. You can see all of his stuff, including Life, Liberty, and Levin right here on YouTube. So check that out. Check that out. The man is top of his game, and we need him, just like I wish we still had Rush. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, he's special. He's special. Boyd, welcome. If he had a grandfather clock on his wrist, he must have a big arm. Okay. Marty Greco saying good night to Bertha. Prayers for you. I hope that didn't scare you, Bertha. Yes, we will pray for Bertha Blackwell. We will. Laura, did Elvis Presley have a grandfather clock watch that he wore? Okay, that's where that came from. Kamala was a wrestler. She also slept with Willie Brown, the criminal. That's what they say. Judy Wright, extending goodwill soon wishes for Bertha. And as are others. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. So this is a Thursday edition of Worldwide Ramblings. We won't do a full 2 hours, I don't think. But wanted to come on. I'm kind of competing with myself because we got that new video about the CD party outside near the woods in Franklin, Tennessee with Pastor Bob Joyce and the crew from his record label. They had a CD release party, and we saw, the beginning of it. And very well done. Have to boost up the audio on Pastor Bob. We already boosted it for you. You could try headphones too. His comments weren't long, but he's a humble man who loves the Lord, and it was just great. So check out that. Now, the best thing you can do for the Safely Home by Bob Joyce project is to buy a physical copy of it. Just go to bobjoyce.org, bobjoyce.org. All right. There was a pro wrestler called Kamala. I have never heard anyone named Kamala until We were blessed by the presence of Kamala Harris. His real last name was Harris. It's sounding too suspicious here. So yeah, I'm doing too much, and I don't like to do that. Yes, I'm wearing my my Bucky shirt backwards because the best part of the shirt is in the back, you know, and holding it till Bucky's. If you know, you know. You go to Bucky's once, you're coming back. I'm telling you that. You're coming back. Next time you're on the highway and you see Bucky's, you're going to pull in. If you're in an 18-wheeler, you can't pull in. They'll chase you out. No 18-wheelers. You got to go at another truck stop and Uber over to Bucky's. Katina Swatsworth blessed us with a gift in one of our most recent videos. Her husband and Katina did. Hi, Jack and everyone. I missed you live. Nothing new. Well, we're here. So I'm live and in person now. And perhaps you saw our latest pre-recorded video, the CD party, Pastor Bob's CD party. Fuzz Octavius. Wow, it's been a dog's age since we've seen you. We're meeting some old friends here tonight, including Claude. Welcome, Fuzz. Sounds like you're a detective or something. Or, no, you're a club DJ. That's what you are. Fuzz Octavius. We have an Octavius here in the Hudson Valley. I don't know if he's retired yet or not. I know in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and beyond, he was the wedding DJ if you had money. He wasn't the poor guy's choice. He had all the lights, the whistles and bells. You know, if you wanted a big production and if you wanted someone who knew how to use the mic that was in front of him and then shut up when it was appropriate and just let the music flow, that was Octavius. Thousands of dollars in the 70s for him to be your DJ at the wedding. Yeah, guy made a lot of money. Because back then, the thousands was more than it is now. Got to go, everyone. Well, Mary, thank you for dropping by. I'm glad you did. To Worldwide Ramblings, the Thursday edition. So yeah, we're wrapping up the month of September and coming close to, meeting our minimum goal, and so thank you for all those that have hit the thanks button or will hit the thanks button for any amount, whether it be $1, $2, $5, or those of you who have been blessed more. Lord knows we will put it to good use. Let's get a green screen in here. I'd love to see somebody back me to get a tech crew in here, even if it's a virtual tech crew, That would be okay. I'm just looking through my paperwork here and not finding what I'm looking for. That's nothing new. Maybe I should plan these things out. Aha! Now, there are names from the last show that I need to know because I want to know what love is. Let's see here. Can I do this without knocking the stream off? I think I can. I hope I can. I'm on my own channel right now. Our latest CD, the Elvis Voice. The Elvis Voice, ! The Bob Joyce CD party. Right now it has 486 views. We just put it up a few hours ago. So check that out. Our live show from Saturday night will hopefully hit 1,000. Sometimes we do much better than that. A Rumble Elvis series drags. We talk about that new series, but don't get me wrong, the host is very good, and I only saw one episode. We talked about Kamala's bag of tricks last Saturday night. So let me look there. And
my name is Corey James Blessingame.
Well, thank you, but we don't really want to hear from you. We just want to thank the people. Yes, I see Chris Swatsworth, that's Katina's husband, $25 tip on the thanks button. So thank you very, very much for that. And my cousin from Boston, that would be Dennis, $4.99, the thanks button. And I appreciate that, Dennis. Both are multiple givers, have given more than once, and that it's not the amount; it's the acknowledgement that you like what we do here, and I appreciate that so much. So back to the live stream. And let me just go to the email. We're moving around here. Hello, Bill. I've got to answer your emails. I don't think I have yet. I read them and I didn't answer them yet. Benny is talking about the fact that Elvis Presley, I'm not ready to really do this as content, but Elvis Presley and Bob Joyce have the same grandmother, is what they're saying. And I'm not ready to expand on that. Anybody else want to give a thumbs up to that? What else do we have here? Yeah. And back to the live stream. Thank you, past givers. Mostly on the thanks button. Nancy DeMarco, Anastasia, Jody Smith, many times, Cheryl Larson, John Jeffries, Ted Richards, all our regular crew here, Barbara Kendall, Judy Wright just gave recently. Thank you so much, Judy Wright. Elizabeth Gilbert, Marty Greco, more than once, Stephen Garvis, Jane Green, Terry and Nancy Whitmore. Actually, that's in memorial of Terry, her husband. Nancy Whitmore, Kathleen Wiedenbacher, Richard and Vivian Lyon. Richard is the grand patriarch from West Palm Beach, Florida. He probably worked like 12 hours today. I think yesterday he was supposed to work a 12-hour shift. He's still a working man. He's got to get his supper, have a shower, and then go to bed, Patrick Files, Jill, Susan Safadi, Cindy in South Louisiana. We talked about Dennis, Ken, Teresa Carroll, Lana Dye, Ted, well, he calls himself Tom Jones when he's here. Tom Jones, Kimberly, Vansall, Selena, Downtown William Brown, multiple times. Thank you, William. Sam Semi, Elvis Rocks or Elvis Rock, Kim Kaplowskis, Rhonda Ledbetter. Hello, Rhonda. Belinda Lemon, Miss Lemon. Thank you so much. Debbie English, Jane Justice, June Joyner, Balanka. Let's say Balanka. Woodsley Summercraft. That's Rob. Adrian Sternov. Happy Jalapeno. Susan Carter, many times. Thank you, Susan Carter. Helen B. and Ruthie K. Just some of the people that have given here, and I've got to get those other names down on the list here. Good evening, Marlene. How are you? Is that we caught up, or did you say that a while ago? No, you just said that. Hi, Marlene. Cindy in South Louisiana. There was an awesome video of the CD release party. That was an awesome video of the CD release party. I love that they can so nonchalantly talk about Elvis now. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird what's going on now, Cindy? That really was going to be the thrust of what I was going to say tonight when I kind of changed it up. Remember, most of that talk was coming from the man who owns the recording company that put out Safely Home. You know, he was reading, of course, mail, you know. Thank you for bringing the Elvis voice back and other things that he said. I have only seen it a couple of times myself, so I'm not ready to quote it all. But, you know, who is it that likes to say change is in the air? I just kind of feel that change is in the air. So we'll have to come up with a strategy of what to do if an emergency kit, if all of a sudden all heaven breaks loose. I didn't say hell. I said I would never associate that with Pastor Bob Joyce. All heaven breaks loose. And all of a sudden, TMZ says, we got to go to bed. And George Stephanopoulos says, I'm going to stop giving bigoted, one-sided journalism that makes me look like such a sellout, and I'm going to go cover another story. And then they start fighting who's going to go to bed. You know, if that stuff kind of happens, things will change, yes, but it doesn't mean the end of Pastor Bob Joyce preaching in Arkansas. It's just that since those new facilities are not ready in the 9 acres of land, perhaps it would be a good move to go to Hot Springs and go back to the Horner Hall Theater and do it there with a lot of security. You know, you need to be really serious about your security, and people would have to get used to the fact that they're going to be checked. They're going to be wanted as they come to church. It's not like no churches do that, you know? I mean, John Hagee was shot at while preaching, okay? He's a pretty good dodger. You wouldn't think he'd be that agile. He said, the guy said, I'm going to count to 6 and I'm going to start shooting. And he was pointing the gun at John Hagee. He said he lied. He started at 5. Well, by then, John Hagee was doing the Pentecostal dance. We didn't even know he was that Pentecostal. And security was coming up behind this guy. Everybody has a gun. And they were taking him down. I don't think they shot him, but I could be wrong about that. And if they did, they did. They shot the one at Joe Osteen's church. They had to shoot her. She had shot somebody, I think a kid, you know. I never heard how that turned out, but Joe Osteen has a lot of security. He wasn't even out there. So, you know, why did they do this? Because they're nuts. That's the thing they all have in common is they're mentally ill. They need to go to a facility. Doesn't matter what they wish or want, be medicated and get better again. See if we can let them out to join society again, as long as we monitor them and they take their meds. So in some people that won't be possible, but you don't take the guns from the law-abiding citizens. You take them away or never let the mentally ill have them. That's the thing they all have in common. But whoever said that progressives and even liberals are, you know, Einsteins? It wasn't I, although there are plenty of in the old days. You know, Hubert Humphrey was very smart. I loved Senator George McGovern, and there's many other examples. There's many other examples of that. My phone's going crazy tonight. So, by the way, on Cash App, my handle is MediaGuy56, all lowercase letters, MEDIAGUY 56, Media Guy 56. I tend to get more. I do get more of it when you use Cash App, and I get it faster. But I'm very thankful for the thanks button that Google supplies us with, and for those YouTube supplies us with, and for those who use it. I'm very, very thankful. Huh. So what else? Am I missing any new people that have stopped by? Yeah, Nancy's cool. She sends some good emails. She does, and maybe someday we'll get to see Nancy, and someday we'll get to see Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. Elizabeth is here. My mother's name was Elizabeth. Uh, Elizabeth Mary. My first wife is Mary Elizabeth. Elizabeth. That story about the shared grandmothers may be false. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I've gotten a couple of emails on it. That picture that's going around was a photo on a shelf at Jean Ho's house. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of, Elizabeth. Who got a picture inside Pastor Bob's house? So you're saying it's Jean Ho's house? Yeah, there's often you have to be careful before you say these things because there can be a misunderstanding. It can be a misunderstanding. So there you go. Jane Justice here in East Tennessee, 90 degrees at 8 p.m., huh? You guys haven't gotten much of a break, huh? I mean, Tennessee is beautiful, but I think we want to do it a little bit later in the year and then certainly the winter and spring, spring being top, right? That would be the top choice because other people have been telling me still hot in Savannah, Georgia. But again, this thing in Colorado, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. These do I want to say Venezuelan gangs? So the governor of Colorado is either going to do their job and even call in the army if you need to. These people need to be arrested and not let out until they're deported. Okay, we cannot have America becoming this. And it's not just happening there. It's all over Oregon. Forget that governor. It's all over California. Forget that governor. And on and on and on we go. On and on and on we go. Can you say New Jersey? Can you say Pennsylvania? It's a sad state of affairs. People used to feel safe. There used to be a degree of respect. There was always crime, but it wasn't such violent crime unless we're talking about, underworld crime and things like that. Jack, it's 79 degrees here in Detroit, Michigan right now. Yes, President Trump was in Detroit today, and I think, Kamala would have been prepping with it. Isn't this something? She's doing a town hall with Dana Bash, who will most likely throw her softballs. Dana is capable, if she wanted to, of really fooling us. She knows how to ask really tough questions, but she usually saves them for President Trump, and for the Republicans. Now, Dana has learned when she's got somebody like Senator Tom Cotton on or Rand Paul, she ain't getting away with it. They're coming right back at her lightning speed. Jim Jordan, same thing. Congressman Comer, they know what's going on. 47 watching right now, 51 likes. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. We're not going to stay on too long because I'm competing with my new video, and that is just el stupido. Watch that new video, which we just did. You won't believe how many takes I did on this. Not that I got way into it. Most times I didn't. It's just one of those times when I kept either muffing a word or forgetting to say something that I needed to say. I must have been 25 takes. It doesn't happen very often these days, but see, you can't do that live. There's no take two. You can edit and post. You can edit for the replay. You can do that. I have what are my snack options for tonight that are low-cal? Nothing that will really satisfy me. You ever get that feeling? What I want is not downstairs. Well, Karen's there. I want her. But other than that, I'm going to have my tea, my British blend, Tetley tea. There's no string on that, it's just a round tea bag. And I'll put a little half and half in there. I just love that. and I have to have something to dunk in there. I got to have something to dunk, and I don't have any Dunkin' Donuts. Good thing for me. Good thing for me, Jane. So I'm glad you said that, Elizabeth, because I haven't done a video on it. People are very quick to cantonize something, and it may not be the case at all. So I'm glad you're here, Marty and Cindy. Are there good Southern desserts down there, Cindy? What's your specialty, Cindy? What do you like for dessert down there in Louisiana, huh? Up here, we've got everything from Italian bakeries to great great Spanish, Mexican tres leche cake to, great American pies, Scotty pies over at Soon's Orchard on the weekends. There's no better apple pie than a Scotty's apple pie. I just refuse to believe it. It's up to $22 now, and it's worth every penny. They know you're going to pay it because they know you're addicted. But I don't go there too often, not because it's $22 as much as I got a little too much around the middle, a little too much something there. I'll tell you what, Jack, we have them all here in Detroit. You have what, Brenda Noyce? What do you have? You're expecting to remember what I just said 2 minutes ago, and that horse has done left the barn. That horse had to leave the barn because somebody named Bob, he calls himself Bob, is building a church in my horse stable. So I got to go. I got to leave. How about some cannolis? Not a huge fan. And we have DeFilippi's Bakery. So come on down and visit, Marty. Come on down here to the Hudson Valley. And, they don't fill their cannolis until you're standing there. That's one thing they don't put out in advance. And maybe the baby ones sometimes to entice you. But if you want cannolis, they got the big thing they're going to squeeze it out of. And they'll fill it right there. And they'll say, you want powdered sugar on your cannolis? You want powdered sugar? And then on Fridays and Saturdays, Marty, they have what would basically look like a Boston cream donut, but they fill it with the cannoli filling. Only have it on Friday and Saturday. You want to talk about a rich donut, that's the one. But if you want an even better donut than that, Marty, when you're here, I'll get up early because by the time I get up, they're either out of donuts or about to close, whatever. Which is probably both. They're out of donuts and they're about to close. Daddy's Donuts. And guess what? Daddy's Donuts is owned by the real Mr. DeFilippi, who sold DeFilippi's 2 owners ago. It's owned by Hasidic Jews now. The Hasidic Jews rushed in there and said to the crew, please, you need to stay. The only thing we're going to change is we're going to pay you more money. We're going to pay you more money. Other than that, if there's something you want changed, we'll listen to you. Please don't leave. We'll pay you more. So they stayed. Without them, there'd be no bakery. They would have bought this expensive bakery for nothing. Or nothing. Krispy Kreme. Why would you, Jane? Believe me, I've had Krispy Kreme donuts. When they're warm, they melt in your mouth. You're right, just like Round Rock donuts. If M. Silva was here, she'd know about Round Rock donuts. They are hot donuts in Round Rock, Texas. So when I go to visit, I gotta have some of those, But the thing I don't understand about Krispy Kreme is, say you get a chocolate glazed donut, they gotta put the sugar glaze on it first. That makes it too sweet. One or the other, and preferably the chocolate. I don't want my glazed donut to be as glazed as the Krispy Kreme. Now, having said that, I've enjoyed Krispy Kreme donuts. They just couldn't make it here in the Hudson Valley. They opened up right across from Panera Bread, and they were the cat's meow at first, just like Boston Market was at first. And then the business started to get slower and slower. The next thing you know, Krispy Kreme Donuts has a display in one of the convenience stores, more than one convenience store. And that happened for a while. And then that left. Whereas when Dunkin' Donuts does that, they do fine. Dunkin' Donuts is just much more popular here. But Daddy's Donuts is when you want the high-end donut. They got a lemon donut. I mean, the lemon filling like you would see in like a lemon meringue pie, but a little more squishy. It just shoots out at you. It's huge. And then they had the banana cream donut with chocolate icing. Okay, I'm going to be breaking in there. I don't have to break in because they'll be making those donuts pretty soon. In fact, they're probably making them now. I can go there and tell them that that I am willing to pay $100 for a dozen donuts right now, and they might just go for it. I'm too poor for that, Elizabeth. I'm too poor. They are putting Arkansas first. I got to get that heart out of the way, Elizabeth. Gets in my way, the heart. They're putting, okay, you're talking about Buc-ee's. They are putting Arkansas first Buc-ee's at Benton? Really? Oh, Pastor Bob, you got to get over to Buc-ee's then, huh? You may have been there before, but the biggest one is in Tennessee. I want to say Crossville, Tennessee, the biggest Buc-ee's. But it's coming to Benton, huh? And what if I visit Benton? I'll have to go to Buc-ee's. You don't pass a Buc-ee's. You really don't pass a Buc-ee's. If it's the morning time, you get yourself a real nice breakfast sandwich there on a croissant or a biscuit, whatever. If it's afternoon time, I would recommend the pulled pork sandwich. I would. The pulled pork sandwich. You get those fancy pastries. They have a complete bakery there. What are those fancy pastries called that kind of look like croissants, and it also begins with a C at Buc-ee's? My son could rattle it right off, and I'm not able to do it. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Claude Mon. This is another. What am I saying? This is not Claude. This is Claudette, of course. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Welcome to you, Claudette. My goodness, my hair guy is here. The responsibility for this wild hairdo is from Vito Yazzo, who's saying, no, Jack, you need to visit me. You need to come in. And I should be doing it before Onion Fest, which is Sunday. Yeah. Are we going to see you at Onion Fest this year, Vito? You'd have a great time if you brought Miss Jessica, and even your teenage daughters might enjoy it. They like Chris Caffrey, the long-haired guy from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, him rocking and rolling. They'd like him. He's 53 or whatever, but he looks much younger. A croissant. We have Mr. Croissant downtown Middletown. It's run by Asian people, and I have not visited. It's going to cost you to go to a place called Mr. Croissant, one chocolate croissant. And I can resist some things in this life, especially when I'm trying to lose weight. But if you stick a chocolate croissant under my nose, it's going to be history, baby. It's going to be history. So Mr. Croissant in downtown Middletown, and I'll be right around the corner. If it doesn't rain, we're having this great Motown soul group tomorrow come for the summer concert series. There's only one more left. So it could rain, and that'll screw it up. And I don't want that to happen because these guys are really good. And then Sunday, we go to Pine Island for the Onion Fest with 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr. So Vito, I can tell you this. Okay, it's $20 to get in per person, but that Polish food, Vito, that the ladies make, oh, you'll never taste a pierogi with their Pine Island onions all over it. So good. The kielbasi, of course, is high-end kielbasi, probably from that Pine Island kielbasi store. And then they've got hot dogs, and they've got what else? Oh, the stuffed cabbage, of course. And then it's the desserts, Vito. Oh, dear. I hope they make the chocolate cream pie. Don't you take my piece. Don't you take my piece. If you're going to do chocolate cream pie right, you're going to use cooked pudding. You're going to use a homemade crust. And then you're going to put real whipped cream. You blended it and everything. You got the heavy cream and turned it into whipped cream and put sugar in there. And that's the closest thing to heaven here on earth that we're going to get to. And the carrot cake, did I mention that, Vito? Oh, you'd love it. You'd love it. You'd love Jimmy. You'd love Chris. And you could even, Vito, you could enter the onion eating contest if you are so inclined. I never will be in a million years. There's a song you haven't sung yet. I'd wait a million years by the Grassroots. Do that one, Vito. I want to hear that one. What Grassroots songs have you sung? Have you sang Temptation Eyes moving through my soul? Temptation Eyes, I want to love you tonight. Because sooner or later, love is going to get you. I better stop or I'll get, where's it at, Pine Island? You just go down there. Like, you take the Goshen exit, but you don't go towards Goshen. I won't give you the back way because it'll confuse you. You take the Goshen exit and you don't go towards Goshen. You go towards Florida, New York. Now, well before you get to Florida, you'll see the Pulaski Highway on your right. Okay, you'll see Pulaski Highway. You make that right, and you're going to go about 3-4 miles. And before you get to downtown Pine Island, if you get to where the famous restaurant, the Jolly Onion Inn, used to be, it's opening up now as an Italian place, I'm told, Vito. Before you get to that, on your right, you will see the Pine Island Polish Club, the PLAV, it'll say. And you'll see all the nice old gentlemen ushering you into where to park. Parking is free. You can give them a couple, $2-3 if you want to. Have that ready because they always have some kind of a cause, And then it'll cost you $20 to get in. That'll be Barbara James, Jimmy's lady. That'll be there taking the money with the fan club president, Anita. And, once you start talking to Jimmy and you tell him you sing, maybe on a show in the future, he'll work it out so you come up and sing at a Jimmy Sturr show. He's done it for other people. Yes. I would recommend country, maybe something really good in the country. He already does Wagon Wheel. They do Wagon Wheel already because it's not just polka. It's country. It's big band. They do it all. They're incredible. So we'd love to have you there. It starts at 2 and goes to a little after 5. If you're so inclined, he doesn't like to leave there early because the people are so into it. There's all kinds of contests you could win. There's a 50-50 contest, and there's boards of these scratch-off tickets that you could win. Karen never does win, but, hope springs eternal. So I hope to see you there. Oh, you have done Midnight Confessions, the signature song, or it's really Midnight Confession, right? Yeah. Saw Rob Grill sing that right here at the Paramount Theater. Were you there that night, Vito? I saw him hobble out there with a cane. He had a skiing accident. And so they said before the show, the announcer or whatever said, Rob just, he had this accident on the slopes, but he was not going to miss tonight. He wanted to be here tonight. Like, you can't miss Middletown, So he came hobbling out as they start singing their opening song, which of course is Sooner or Later. They're all singing Sooner or Later, and they keep repeating it as he hobbles out onto the stage. And then it's finally time for his vocal. And then when it's over, he says, "Welcome to the senior tour." So a number of years, not that far after that, Rob Grill passed away with his wife at his bedside. And the song that she kept playing over and over in his last hour on earth was "Let's Live for Today." Let's Live for Today by the Grassroots. Oh, I'm getting choked up, Vito. That happens when you're old, You're still a young lad and you don't know about old, but I'm getting choked up. Yeah, sad. You do Alan Jackson and you do, George Strait is the one. Jimmy Sturr just went to see George Strait within the last 6 months, I think in Tarrytown. Tarrytown. That's the one. Tell him you sing George Strait. You'd love to sing a George Strait song for him sometime. Oh, yes. And maybe the orchestra will learn it. Otherwise, you'll have to sing it to track, but you're certainly used to doing that. We'd love to have you there. It would be a kick. You could meet our friends Sean and Norma. They will be there, and so many other loyal Jimmy Sturr fans. And they'll be, it's so funny. Some of these people in their 80s come in with their walkers, right? Next thing you know, they put the walkers down, they get up on the dance floor, and they're gliding across the cement floor. It's unbelievable, Vito. I hope to see you there. I really do. It's always a memorable experience. Get there early. They always say to do that. Bring folding chairs. Those picnic tables are not comfortable, and they may fill up for Onion Fest. They don't usually fill up as much for Summerfest, which is the second Sunday in July, but had a nice crowd because the tokens were there for that. So we're gonna have the onion eating contest, and we have these dancers coming in. They were there last year from Philadelphia. These Philadelphia dancers doing their thing to track. So there you go. Yeah, we'd love to have you there, Nancy Whitmore, too. Who else is coming to Onion Fest? Now, there are people that could make the drive, Marianne Rossi, Nancy DeMarco. You could make the drive, and you would have a great time. You would have a great time if you come to Pine Island, New York. If you're looking for a place to stay, you sure don't want to stay here. And you do Glenn Campbell, too. I don't know how Jimmy feels about Glenn Campbell, but I'd be surprised if he didn't love him. He's worked with so many of the greats, Jimmy Sturr. Willie Nelson did like 5 albums with Jimmy Sturr. That doesn't mean he sang on every song, but he contributed tracks on like 5 Jimmy Sturr albums. Mel Tillis did many Jimmy Sturr songs with the orchestra. I can't tell you how much I loved Mel Tillis. He does that song, Tick, 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 Tock Goes My Heart. And what other country superstars? So many. Because, Jimmy was on the Nashville Network. He was on the Nashville Network. And, he had already met Willie Nelson. He had met him because I think they were both doing Farm Aid. And he said, if I ever get a chance to talk to Willie Nelson, I'm going to ask him to record with us. So he went backstage, and by the bus, he saw Willie Nelson. He went over to Willie Nelson, and they shook hands and everything. He knew who Jimmy Sturr was because Jimmy had started to appear on the Nashville Network. And he said, would you ever consider doing a polka album? Would you ever consider recording with us? We've won a bunch of Grammys, but be an honor to have you. And Willie didn't go behind the bus for no reason. So he went like this. Jimmy, I think I'd like to do that. And he did many times. So all of a sudden, Jimmy Sturr gets a call from the Grand Ole Opry. And they say, Jimmy Sturr, we saw you on the Nashville Network last night. You were fantastic. We have never allowed brass here at the Opry. We've never had brass, never once. We're going to make an exception. We're going to make an exception for you. We'd like you to come do the Grand Ole Opry. Are you able to do it Saturday night? And Jimmy said, absolutely. We will stay and we will do it. He said, now I know you're friends with Willie. Well, Willie hadn't been to the Grand Ole Opry in years. They had a major falling out. I don't know what it was over. And they just added, hey, if you want, bring Willie. This invitation is starting to sound suspicious now. So Jimmy approached Willie and said, would you consider, they obviously want you to do it. Would you consider doing the Grand Ole Opry again and come with us? And Willie said, maybe it's time. And so that Saturday night, Willie Nelson walked on to the stage of the Grand Ole Opry for the first time in decades. And Jimmy Sturr's band became the first band ever to bring brass onto the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. John Denver was, what can I tell you about John Denver? I loved him so much. He meant so much to me. Saw him at Radio City Music Hall. I think that was the second marriage of Vito. You know, I haven't been fortunate like you. I've been unsuccessful sometimes, and um, saw John Denver at Radio City, was incredible. Listened to his album cuts, loved him. Vito knows about 300 songs, but I would stick with something that we think Mr. Stir likes, and so far of everything you've mentioned, George Strait is number one with a bullet. However, Chris always does an instrumental version of Ring of Fire. So maybe you could sing at some point Ring of Fire with Chris on guitar and the whole orchestra playing. You know, those trumpets are blaring when they do Ring of Fire. It's great. Elizabeth says George Strait is the best country artist of all time. Well, he's been around for a long time too, hasn't he? And yes, Vito, I was a huge Glenn Campbell fan. Loved him. Met him in downtown Hollywood Boulevard, Christmas time, 1979. I met Glenn Campbell in front of KMPC. They had him as their special guest for their Christmas party, and they came outside for a while to greet the fans. And how old was I in 79? I don't know. I was 23 years old. And I just kind of stood there in awe looking at Glenn Campbell. And he noticed that. And he kind of moved over a little and he extended his hand. He said, well, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And his hand was huge. And I thought, this is the hand that plays the guitar, you know? And I said, well, thank you, Mr. Campbell. I just want to thank you for all your wonderful music. Thank you so much. He couldn't have been nicer, Glenn Campbell. Yeah. Oh, boy. Living in Hollywood, you never knew who you were going to see. Oh, I did that for a year, and then I had enough. Always on my mind, one of the greatest songs. I would say keep it fast, keep it moving. That kind of song you want to propose to Jimmy. You want to do a fast one. A fast George Strait song would be an example, or a fast Johnny Cash song. Yeah. Don't say I want to do Hurt by Johnny Cash, his version. Because first of all, nobody can do it as good as Johnny Cash can. He took that song into new dimensions. If you're going to do something from a 2000 era rock band, do it completely different. And I think nobody did it like Johnny Cash. He got himself onto MTV with his version of Hurt. It's so powerful, it makes you cry. His wife had just died. He sat there looking like, I got nothing left. You can take all the gold records. You could take the mansions. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care about life anymore on this earth. That's how it was. But he still had a hope because he knew the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Amen, amen. I know I'll get an amen on that, Vito. Vito puts up on his Facebook page, Vito Yazzo, Y-O-Z-Z-O. He puts up a Bible passage every day. And some people just like it. How can you like a scripture? Like, click, yeah, okay. If you don't hit the love button, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. So we're not getting too many new people tonight. We're getting our regular family members. Elizabeth is new, I think. And a few, like if I pop on Farron Young, don't ask for that one. He would know it though. I can't think what was Farron's big song. It's kind of before my time. I was a little kid when Farron Young was, popular. Conway Twitty. Oh yes. I think I like Glenn Campbell's version of It's Only Make Believe more than Conway's, but Conway's was great. Conway was great. So there we are. Everything leads into a story with me. I'm sorry. There we are at TBN in Tennessee. Their studios in Tennessee which is right next door to Conway Twitty's house. They bought that too. Why not? It's not their money. They own the Conway Twitty house too, Trinity Broadcasting Network. And we didn't get to go in the Conway house, but we were right next to it. We were right there next to it. And we went in to see a Praise the Lord program with, wasn't Paul and Jan, I don't think, on that one. Did I ever see Paul and Jan? Yeah, I saw Paul and Jan Crouch once on Praise the Lord in their Dallas studios. I think. Yeah. And John and Ruth Ann Jacobs in the Poughkeepsie studios. Love them. She's so pretty. And they got a divorce. How sad, Vito. Heartaches by the number. Give me the next line. I can't remember the next line, Vito. I'm losing it here. I better go take my Chuck Norris morning kick powder. I forgot it this morning. See, if I had taken my Chuck Norris powder this morning, I'd be sharper right now. I didn't get my greens, so I better have Chuck Norris. Yeah, about 3 a.m. Something. I might have to rise from my bed. Glenn Campbell did Rose Garden. What? 2 words, Rose Garden by Lynn Anderson. Well, yeah, I'm sure Glenn had to do his share of covers because you got to fill up an album, Everybody from the king of rock and roll. So, Vito, watch my latest video on Pastor Bob Joyce celebrating. It's a CD party for his Home Safely CD. Safely Home CD. It was recorded just outside Nashville. Some tracks with a full orchestra. To be honest, done separately. Bob did his part. The orchestra was added later. And so here's the owner of the record company. And he was reading comments from people. And I said, there's some crazy comments here. I won't read them. But then he proceeds to tell Bob Joyce, it's just great to have the Elvis voice back. It's great to have the Elvis voice back on this CD. Oh, dear. Bob Joyce may need to stay at your house during the week, if that's okay, Vito, for a little while, because he's developing 9 acres of land. Did you know he went to Mar-a-Lago, Vito? Did you know that? Oh, dear. Dear. Yes, Pastor Bob went to Mar-a-Lago. It was a fundraising event. He was basically the person who did the prayers and what have you, and everybody wanted their picture with this guy from Arkansas, including Gavin Nunes. Davin or Gavin? I always forget. The former Speaker of the House. What does Mr. Nunes do now? Well, he runs President Trump's Truth Social. I have some stocks in Truth Social, and, it's time for me to get some money back. So, Mr. President, you have to win the presidency again. Please, Lord, as I beseech you so many times, please, Lord. Oh, that terrible debate's coming up. I mean, town hall with the worst governor in the United States of America, Tampon Tim, as they call him, Tampon Tim. Yeah. So there's all. Barbara, what's going on with you? Katina, I'll go back and find the other video. She's talking to someone. Brenda says, Jack, I have an 8x10 signed photo of Mrs. Loretta Lynn. My sister-in-law lives near here. Yes. Well, I almost went to Loretta. Did I? No, we were going to go to Loretta Lynn's restaurant on the top of a hill. I mean, it was high up there. But we were on a very tight schedule, and I regret that we didn't go. But when I began in radio in 1977, I started playing the music of Loretta Lynn in one of her big hit records back then. Close your ears for a minute, Katina. One of her big hit records back then was I Want You Out of My Head and Back in My Bed Before the Morning Time. I want you out of my head and back in my bed before the morning time. Big hit, huge hit for Loretta Lynn. Yeah. What else? Oh, I don't think you should do that song either, Vito. Now, that would not be for you. Katina, but with an E. She's not Katrina and the Waves, you know. She's not that. No. Yeah. So everything you say kind of reminds me of a story. Not everything, but you know, some do. Some do. So I think that we've covered most of the bases here. Vito, I really do hope to see you at the Onion Fest. Anyone who comes in thinking they won't have fun will leave saying, you know, that was kind of fun. I think I can say that. I think I can say that. And it's all kinds of music. So remember to pray for Bertha Blackwell. If you could remember in your prayers tonight, also Bertha Blackwell. She's in the hospital recovering. She was watching us from her hospital bed. She's recovering from both leg and knee surgery. So remember Bertha Blackwell. And there's so many here that have prayer needs as well. Katina's daughter is doing better. She seems like a real special young lady. And so pray for her. Brenda has issues like we kind of all do as we get older, you know. And where's my $1.25 readers? Because the vanity glasses aren't going to work now. I mean, they are prescription, but I guess I failed my eye test in that I forgot to tell her which was clearer. So then I went to Dollar Tree and bought these for $1.25 so I could read from the Word of God. Even though it's big print, I still need them. Colossians in the NIV, chapter 1, beginning with verse 15. The supremacy of Christ. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things were created by him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead, so that in everything he might have the supremacy. For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him. What a powerful line. For God was so pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. Shed on the cross. It does not get any more anointed than that. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Vito. Susan, you come in late, but you're here. Susan Safadi. I never say it right. I know. I'm sorry. Elizabeth, thank you. I hope you'll come back Saturday night, 10 o'clock for Worldwide Ramblings. If not before, we may pop on at some unusual hour, so have your notification bell on. Hit the subscribe button. We'd love to get to 10,000. That'll open us up to a whole new bunch of people that'll get notifications. It takes us to another level if we get to 10,000. Hit the like button, as 60 people have already, more than currently watching. And thank you for those who hit the thanks button, whether here or in the replay. And Cash App just helps me supplement my retirement, not have to worry about how I'm going to make it through the month, and I can put all my focus here when it comes time to create. Other times, I got to spend time with the Creator, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and time with Karen, etc., etc. Also, looking forward. Got to make the trip to see hopefully both my daughter and son in November in Texas. And that's a big trip. That's a big trip. So one hip chick, I'm so glad you dropped by with your bell bottoms on. And all the rest of you as well. It was good to see Joseph again. And Claude Monet, the famous French dead painter, he has not let death stop him from coming here to the virtual church of the disillusioned. Oh, I don't think I can watch more than 5 minutes of this town hall. I might start to get sick to my stomach. I feel a little responsibility to watch a little bit, but Lord Jesus, please make 45 number 47. Make 45 number 47. In Jesus' name I pray. Good night, everybody.